Hey, what is going on YouTube? This is Mohammed, your personal PMP coach from Certify with Ease. It's been a while, but I've been working on the PMP in 30 program. You're going to be really excited when we officially launch. But in this video, I want to give you some quick insights and quick tips and a schedule that you should follow if you want to get certified as soon as possible in 30 days. And more specifically, if you're a person studying for the exam and you have a 9 to 5 job and you have a full-time family like most of our community members, you want to focus on the schedule so that you don't get burned out and so that you can focus on the only essentials to pass this exam. Okay, so let's get started right now. This is my course, and the course has been structured in a way where you take an exam focused approach. You only focus on what is important. Okay, so we're going to jump into it right now over here. So the first thing that I get a lot from students is, you know what, Mohammed, when it comes to the theory, what do I actually need to know? When it comes to the theory, do I need to memorize the textbook? Do I need to take a 35-hour Udemy course? Yeah, you might need to take it for the hours, but do I need to know every single bit of information that's been repeated on these slides where the instructor just reads from the slides? Do I need to memorize all this? You don't need to. All right, you do not need to. I have this policy that I tell all my students: I don't like to memorize, I like to understand. There are some things you are going to have to memorize, which we'll jump into soon, but what you want to do is you want to understand. These are the main topics on my screen right now that you need to master for the exam. You need to understand them. You have no choice. You need to know what an agile project is. You need to understand the triangle, Agile Manifesto, and some principles to just understand how Agile works. The development cycle, this is huge. What happens when you have the product owner? The product owner communicates with what? The client, updates the product backlog. When the sprint starts, what happens? After the sprint, what are the processes? You have to understand this entire flow, this entire process. Value prioritization. How is value prioritized? Kanban development, burn up, burn down plus velocity charts, know how to analyze them. Very, very important, very essential. Common spaces, predictive to agile. Now, 100%, you will get a question on your exam that says the company is using a predictive approach and wants to transition into agile. What should the company do? And when it comes to traditional is very short. Now, a lot of people mess up here. A lot of people, they focus on the ITTOs. The ITTOs is that huge chart with the inputs, tools, and techniques and outputs where they force you to memorize it. I remember I was trying to memorize that whole chart. It took me about a month when I was studying for this exam. None of that appeared on the exam. The exam will not ask you what is the input of this, what is the output of that. You will have to know some of these terms, which we'll jump into soon, but they will not explicitly ask you those types of questions. Instead, they'll put an input or an output in a situation-based question, and then they'll start to ask you, what should the project manager do? Okay, so when it comes to theory, all you have to know are these topics over here. Okay, very, very important. Know them, master them, understand. Do not memorize, understand them. Okay, now my favorite part is the principles, and this is where I focus most of my videos on. How do we strategically, right, guys? We're in a strategic way. How do we strategically approach a PMP question? Now, I focus a lot on situation-based questions. You probably answer, why? Why, Mohammed? Why do you focus on situation-based questions? Well, the reason being is because 80%, guys, 80% of the exam is situation-based. Okay? Situation-based meaning, what should the project manager do? What should the project manager have done? Or what should the project manager do next? Situation-based questions. If you know how to answer situation-based questions, you pass the exam. If you don't, you'll fail the exam. Why? Because 80% of the exam is situation-based. Awesome. So if you see my videos, you'll see, how do I answer questions? And I share this in my YouTube channel because I want you guys to do well. You approach the question in 3 steps. You frame the problem, You eliminate the answers using our 23 mindset principles, and you choose the answer that best solves the problem. And then we have our mindset principles. Now, a lot of students come up to me, and a lot of people on YouTube, they comment and they say, Mohammed, I've memorized the principles, I've understood them, but I keep forgetting them. Well, the thing is, guys, you have to practice. You have to practice using these principles. And you cannot just rely on these principles. This is the most important thing. The principles are a part of the puzzle of the 3 steps. You have to know how to frame the problem. If you're a lawyer, you're going to have an easy time with this exam because you're able to read information, process it, and understand what is important from that information. And that's what you want to do. Frame the problem. Learn how to frame the problem. And then eliminate the answers that contradict our principles or that don't solve the problem. But here's the thing, guys. If you don't understand the problem statement, none of this is going to help, right? So you want to master these 3 steps. And one thing you want to do is, we have this in our PMP mindset training, actually, for the people that are taking the course. You have this in our training, and the thing is, and I'll just show you an example over here. You have to be able to identify the answers using the principles, right? So you have principle number 1 outlined over here. You got a mindset training question number 1. So just by looking at the answers, which answer respects principle number 1? Is it continue with implementation? No, because that's an action. We want to take a step back. Provide mandatory training? That's an action as well. We want to take a step back. Engage with employees to gather feedback on their concerns and identify areas of improvement? Well, that sounds like investigating. That sounds like discussing. That sounds like principle number 1. Or D, adjust the project timeline. Well, that sounds like an action that can follow afterwards. Okay, so you see how the mindset works? It's not only about understanding the principle, it's about practicing and recognizing the answers when it comes to these principles. All right, awesome. So let's move on. Now that we have, the theory down, now that we understand the mindset principles, and now it's time to get into some foundational questions. Now, here's the thing, guys. A lot of you will spend months understanding and memorizing theory, and will get into answering PMP questions at the end. I will be honest with you. If you don't study theory, if you just study the basics and you focus most of your time on answering questions, you will do much better than the person who does the opposite. You'll do much better than the person who spends his or her time studying theory, but only spends a minimum amount of time answering questions. Because the questions, I keep telling everyone this, the questions are situation based. You have to practice. You have to have the PMP mindset in order to answer these questions. You cannot take theory and then take that theory and answer questions. You need to take that theory, transform it into practice, and then with that, answer the question. So bottom line, start practicing on questions immediately. Start practicing. Even if it doesn't make sense, you will learn as you practice. Okay. So instead of spending time on 1,000 problems, we made this course in such a way that it accommodates for the 200 most important questions that you can expect on the exam, meaning the topics. Okay. So what are these topics? Well, these topics are situation-based questions. These topics are SPI, CPI, burn-up charts, analyzing a burn-up chart. You have calculation-based questions, so EVM, PERT calculation, and you also have some drag and drop questions, okay? So these are the most popular topics for drag and drop. Make sure you understand them. Unfortunately, when it comes to drag and drop, guys, there's no way that you can work around it. There's no principles. You just have to know the theory. But these are the most popular topics. Learn about interpersonal skills, learn about risk prioritization, learn about the different risk types. Tuckman ladder is a good one. These are the drag and drop questions you can expect on the exam. Okay. And then lastly, what you have are some cheat sheet terms. So this is what I was talking about. You don't need to memorize the ITTOs, but you might have to know some of the inputs or outputs because they might appear in a situation-based question. Okay? So know these terms. Pause the video, take a screenshot of these. These are the most important terms. They might appear in a question or an answer. And the question won't explicitly tell you, hey, what is a fishbone diagram or what is earned value? They will mention the term in a question or in an answer, and you have to automatically know what it is. Okay? But these are the most popular terms. You guys could take a screenshot and don't use the PMP guide, guys. It's too complicated. Just go on ChatGPT or if you already know what it is, then just do that or Google it, right? Don't look at that guide. That guide is huge. It's massive. It's so tedious. I don't know how most people study that. If you want the fast and efficient way, the easy way, ChatGPT or Google, whatever you like, okay? And of course, at the end of the day, you need to start practicing on questions, but you also need to time yourself, okay? You need to time yourself. There's no question about it. Why? Because the exam is a timed exam. So my suggestion, guys, is go and solve some questions. Maybe solve 100 questions. And then after 100 questions, start timing yourself. Start timing yourself and start timing yourself until you get to the 1 minute and 15-second mark. Okay? So just to summarize really quickly, before we sign off, key concepts, know these key concepts, and that's all. Move on. Okay? Principles, this is going to be the bulk of your time. Understand how to frame a problem, understand how to use our mindset principles, understand how to choose the right answer and from what's left over. Okay? Practice on as many problems as possible. Time yourself. Time yourself so you hit the 1 minute and 15-second mark per question. Practice on these drag and drop questions and understand these terminology, and you should be good for the exam. Okay? Check the description below. There's going to be a little bit of a gift from me to you to help you practice and to help you ace this exam, because I want you guys to move up in your career. I want you guys to get certified and get those high-paying jobs and not spend 3 to 4 months on this exam, because it can get very, very heavy and it can get very demotivating, right? Check the description below for a quick gift from me to you. You get a sample of this course, but you also get my fast track notebook, and hopefully you enjoy it. Let me know what you let me know what you find about it in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. There's more to come. Just want to give you a quick update and make sure that you have a proper schedule in place and that you focus on the right things. Take care and have a fantastic rest of the day.